Hello students. Welcome to our Senior Secondary School 2 Physics lesson. Today, we will be learning about light waves. But before we proceed, let's quickly recap what we learned in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson, we learned what a wave is. And we also explored the types of waves. And I hope you learned something new. Before we begin today's lesson, let's briefly go through our lesson objectives. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to define the concept of light, identify the sources of light, and also explain how light interacts with matter. Are you ready? Let's get started. Light is a fascinating phenomenon that surrounds us every day. It is a form of electromagnetic radiation that can be detected by the human eye. It consists of waves of electric and magnetic fields that travel through space. It behaves as both a particle and a wave, a concept known as wave-particle duality. Light wave is a visible source of energy. It is also a wave motion. It travels at 299,792,458 meters per second in a vacuum. Sources of light. There are various sources of light: luminous and non-luminous, natural and artificial. Luminous objects, these are objects that produce their own light. Examples of luminous objects. Natural, they are found in nature. The sun, stars, fire and bioluminescent organisms are examples of natural light. Artificial, they are man-made. Light bulbs, LEDs, electric torch, and candles are examples of artificial light. Non-luminous objects. These are objects that do not produce their own light but can reflect light from other sources. Examples of non-luminous objects. The moon, it only reflects sunlight. Planets, they shine because they reflect light from the sun. Mirrors, they reflect light but do not emit their own. Non-luminous objects depend on natural and artificial sources of light to illuminate them. Let's explore how light interacts with matter. When light interacts with matter, it exhibits different behaviors. The behavior of light when it encounters matter depends on the properties of both the light and the material it interacts with. Let's explain the behaviors of light. Reflection. This occurs when light bounces off the surface of a material instead of passing through it or being absorbed. Example, when you look in a mirror, light allows you to see a reflection of yourself. Absorption. This happens when a material takes in light energy, often converting it to heat. Example, wearing a black shirt on a sunny day feels hotter because it absorbs more sunlight. Refraction. This is the bending of light as it passes from one material into another with a different density. This happens because light travels at different speeds in different materials. Example. A straw in a glass of water looks bent at the surface because the light slows down when it passes from air into water, causing it to change direction. Diffraction. This is the bending and spreading of light, or any wave, when it encounters an obstacle or passes through a small opening. Example. CDs or DVDs. The closely spaced tracks diffract light and create rainbow colors. Scattering, when light hits small particles or molecules in the air or other materials, it causes the light to scatter rather than continuing in a straight line. Example. The sky is blue because the atmosphere scatters shorter blue wavelengths more than red, so we see a blue sky. Transmission. This happens when light passes through a material without being absorbed or reflected. Example. Light through clear glass. Imagine standing near a window on a sunny day. The sunlight comes through the window and illuminates the room. You're doing great. Feel free to explore more about the behaviors of light when it interacts with matter. Now it's your turn. Here are 2 quick practice problems. Give them a shot. Remember to pause the screen and solve the problem. Loving the progress. Let's go over what we have learned so far. Light exhibits wave-particle duality. Light is neither just a wave nor just a particle, it behaves as both. When light interacts with matter, it can be reflected, absorbed, or transmitted. It comes from both natural sources, like the sun, and artificial sources, like LEDs. In our next lesson, we will be learning more about light waves. Great effort! You're getting better each step of the way. I can't wait to see your progress in the next lesson.